Hello there, this is Pastor Russ, and I'm going to share with you three things to do with your team. They are confront, coach, and counsel. Let me hit each of these quickly. First of all, confront. Nobody likes to do it, I get it, but it's a necessary part of leadership. Confrontation doesn't have to be a bad thing. But when someone acts in rebellion to a decision or something that somebody did on the team and their attitude is toxic, you need to act quickly as you discover it. Now, sometimes I will look at people and say, we're about to have a difficult conversation. Immediately, their defenses are going to go up. And then I will say something like, listen, I'm not here to destroy you. I just need to address something, and I know you can do something about it. Now, what did I do? I went ahead and set the parameters of the conversation. If you just spring it on people and just blow up in their face, they're going to get defensive and quit. But if you lead them through a process to understand, hey, we've got to do something here and this is how we're going to take care of it, then people are more likely to follow you when they know that you're loving them and not hating them. Confrontation is often seen as rejection. You don't love me. You don't like me. Don't let people play those games with you. You say, yes, I do love you. I love you enough to make sure that we, you, I, the team, everybody stays on the same page. And you're somewhere else. We need to get you back over here with us. You may be rejecting an attitude, but you don't have to reject them. Make sure that you're speaking to the moment. You're not speaking to them as a person. If it's something about them as a person, I'll talk about that in a minute here with counseling. If they avoid meeting with you, let them go. Don't push it any farther. Disconnect them from any authority they have with the team, but do not disconnect them from relationship. Still, you want to be their friend, you want to be their mentor, you want to be their leader, whatever the case is. You want to hang on to that. But if you have to talk to your team, you say, listen, I've asked them to speak with me, but they haven't got back to me. Usually, somebody who's close to them on the team will speak up and say, well, this is what's going on. It would have been fairer to everyone if they would have said that to you to begin with, but now you have something to work with and proceed. People you know you have to lead, and you've got to establish the standards and the boundaries. So keep them yourself. Don't make yourself the exception to the rule. Don't make somebody else the exception to the rule. Walk people through processes whenever you have to do this. Coaching. Now, coaching isn't about Saturday college football. Coaching is about leading people to discover what they already know. Let me say it again. Coaching is about helping people discover what they already know. Now, someone who habitually comes late to serve on a team or to something, instead of looking at them and saying, listen, you're really irritating the daylights out of me, and everybody else on the team is just sick and tired of you coming 15 minutes late all the time. Get your act together. Instead of doing this, why don't you try this one? Hey, I've noticed you've struggled a bit trying to come on time. Is there something that I can help you with in order to make this, help you solve this problem? Is there something I can do? Is there something I can recommend? And whenever you do that, they'll come back and usually tell you, well, here's the problem I'm dealing with. And it could be a problem that is completely unsolvable. It could be something they can't fix. And if that's the case, then you need to look at, okay, how can we make some adjustments here in order to help you serve on this team and make this become a reality? Maybe you can suggest to them, text me when you know you're going to be late, so we don't have to sit around and wonder if you're showing up. Maybe you can ask them if there's somebody or something, someone that's putting pressure on you and it's messing your day up. Is there something we can do to help alleviate some of that pressure that's off of you? Obviously, this is a path where you want to find a solution. But if there's no solution found, you may have to sit down with them and say, listen, this really isn't working out very well for you, is it? It's putting a lot of stress on you. Think more about them than about yourself. And whenever they say, yeah, it's really stressful for me to do this, okay, what can we do? Is there another area of ministry you can serve in that fits within your timetable that we can make this happen and allow this to become a reality? Now, this is just one example. It's a common one. But take the opportunity to think through how you're going to ask questions in order to solve problems. That's the best way to be able to lead people. Now, the third one is counseling. I get it. Not everyone is a counselor. I do not make any proclamations about being a counselor, okay? But we've all been caught up in situations where we've had to give advice, and that kind of made you a counselor. So the first thing you need to do is to build the trust to be able to hear their heart. Oftentimes, whenever you're in a situation like this, you're going to hear their side of the story. And it may be the one that's truth, it may be the one that they've imagined, but they believe in it. And that's the first thing you need to remember. As facts begin to reveal themselves, and then you begin to sort through what's going on and taking place, you begin to realize, well, we've got some issues here that need to be dealt with. Now, if there's any illegal activity, if there's any abuse going on, you need to intervene as soon as possible, immediately. You need to do something. Call and ask for help from us, any one of the leadership team. Say, hey, how do I deal with this? We've got a problem. We need to deal with it right now. And especially when children are involved, then child services has to be involved. Now, in all my years of doing this, I've only had to do that about 2 or 3 times. But it's something that needs to be said and understood, that we do intervene whenever someone's life is in danger. Now, arrange a time to sit down with someone to help them understand the need and to take what steps are necessary to find healing. That's all you're doing. You may be able to speak life into the situation. You may be able to encourage them. But if you realize that this is out of your league, help them to find someone who is going to give them clarity, number one, and counseling, number two, in order to be able to come to some kind of resolution. It may be short-term, long-term. You may be talking to someone who may end up in rehab. You don't know as you go through this, but you need to start those steps. Encourage them to get the help they need, and then encourage them while they're getting the help they need. Stay there with them and walk them through this process and be their friend and help them bear up the burden, as Paul told us to do in Galatians. Make sure that they don't feel rejected, or that they're broken beyond repair, or that they're alone. Those 3 things right there, make sure they don't feel rejected, broken beyond repair, or alone. If you can do those 3 things, you're going to help them find the healing they need in this moment.